That is shocking.
I'm surprised too. We watched both Sunny movies. 2 different Sunnyverse. We watched both Sunnyverse films in the theater. We left our house.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Okay, picture a cell phone and an email machine all in one thing. It's like the Force. Sorry, have you seen Star Wars?
No. But I want 50% of the company, and I've got to be CEO.
I don't know who you think you are, but deal. Are you joking?
I need a prototype.
I'll do it perfectly or I don't do it.
Mike, are you familiar with the saying perfect is the enemy of good?
Well, good enough is the enemy of humanity.
Try typing with your thumbs.
You want to be great? You need to sacrifice. And the more painful the sacrifice, the greater you'll be.
If we put more phones on these networks, they're going to crash.
Is this legal?
In the middle of a hostile takeover!
What's happening, man? I created this entire market.
Why don't you get on them about using the minutes on the cell phones? They used up all your minutes, right?
Frank, nobody gives a shit about minutes anymore. You said they were the best engineers in the world.
I said they're the best engineers in Canada.
Come over here. Oh, we want to do that instead. Not in this camera. Just a crotch. Crotch in the shot.
Only 2 cameras, huh?
Dead air!
It's Always Sunny, Face Off. Charlie Day, Glenn Howerton, both made movies like 2 years apart. They both came out on the same day. Let's start with Blackberry.
Okay.
Overall,
Not a movie that needs to be seen in the theater. It might as well have been like an HBO miniseries.
it's like a season of Silicon Valley condensed
Yeah.
down to a movie. If you take Silicon Valley and trim it to 2 hours, you're just losing jokes mostly. Just imagine Silicon Valley without middle out, you know?
And like story-wise, uninteresting to me,
You weren't a fan.
to be positive. Thought the acting was very good. Cinematography was interesting.
Now, it could have been because we were like in a small theater and fairly close to the screen, that we weren't like front row doing this. I felt like I was up inside Glenn Howerton's nostrils. I was getting claustrophobic. It's like a documentary style. It's trying to be sort of office-y, and it's very much like we've got long lenses. We're following these people around for that realistic documentary style. And Glenn Howerton talks about he like never knew where the camera was. He'd be like, where's the camera? And they're like, it's 100 yards over there on a giant lens. And it has a handheld look to it, but it's being shot on these long lenses, which is like, if you go handheld while zooming, that will be so goddamn nauseating and jittery and
wiggly.
unstable. It's like on a gimbal that's faking the handheld. I mean, I get why they'd want to do that, like that documentary feel. But to me, it was like too zoomed in. I was like,
I didn't feel claustrophobic.
she didn't
but
get claustrophobic. So yeah, plot, rise and fall, tech companies. It makes you think of like Social Network really because of the character story where
yeah.
you've got like a betrayal. Justin Timberlake is the third guy who comes in. He kind of turns him on the other one. Crossing long periods of time makes me think of Social Network or the Steve Jobs, Aaron Sorkin movie. So yeah, I feel like it's aiming for this higher art Sorkin, Social Network, Fincher, and falling a little short.
Yeah. For me, this kind of story, I'm just not interested in.
A cell phone and an email machine all in one thing.
White man Cinderella.
And
Sometime with or
you mean an
without.
underdog? White dudes have a plan to make lots of money. Maybe they make lots of money. Maybe they screw over their friend to get more money. Maybe
There's
they
always
lose all the
someone-
money. Who gets rich?
There's always someone doing something illegal. It's like, I am not interested in hearing any more of this point of view.
What point of view? To
Tell
judge.
me about your wiener.
But what about all the female characters? The very strong female characters.
What? Who? What?
There was one female character at one point where they're saying something about all you dorky guys, and then does anyone else realize I'm a woman? And that's about it. Were there any other women? Oh, and Glenn Howerton brought in a secretary.
A secretary.
Jim Balsillie.
And I'm sure that's how it really went down in real life. And so, that's the story they chose to tell, but also like I'm just not interested in
We
that.
could have had, you're getting into the 10 episode series. If we had more time, we could have seen more of their personal life. Because we don't know if any of them are married. I don't even know if we ever find out. Or if they do, it's just barely in passing. Glenn Howerton as Jim Balsillie. I thought his performance was great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can put another man's face on. If you give me your house key, I can go to your house and put on some of your makeup.
It is Dennis turned up. It's Dennis from It's Always Sunny if he had followed Frank into business.
There are too many minorities and women working here. What's up with that?
I got all that. I'm on it.
You're fired. You're fired.
What?
You're fired.
Why?
You quit?
Yes.
Well, guess what, pal? You can't quit because you're fired, Vic. You're out of here. See, you got no commitment, Vinegar. You're finished. You're never going to get anywhere in life.
We gotta start cutting the crust off this shit sandwich.
The actual real life Jim Balsillie saw the film and then went to a premiere or something like that. And he told, I think it was Glenn Howerton, he told him, "This is the first time I've ever watched a movie twice."
Okay, so he doesn't have children,
Yeah, or he doesn't take care of his children.
Or yeah. I liked the nerdy friend.
The nerdy friend, you're talking about Doug, which is played by the director and writer. And he's the one who comes out on top.
Likable
He comes out on top with the most money.
Yeah, he was the most empathetic character for sure. I mean, there are moments when you're like, okay, you're
too goofy.
Yeah, it's
A little
like being
too
a
goofy.
child. But there were points in the movie where it was like, you're trying to make me not like this guy.
Movie night?
And fuck you for trying to make me not like this guy because...
Are you saying you got a thing for goofy dorks that can't take things seriously? Best arc of a character in the film, that award goes to Jay Baruchel's hair.
Yeah.
Jay Baruchel's come a long way. I remember him from Undeclared. Did you watch Undeclared?
Yeah.
I think we watched that together a long time ago. It's a
Tell me about your wiener.
No, that's Accepted. Undeclared was a show. It was a Judd Apatow comedy. It came out, I think Freaks and Geeks was 98, and then Undeclared is about a bunch of college freshmen living in the dorm. Jay Baruchel plays the essentially main character, who's just this character. He always plays the goofy nerdy guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We're having a party tonight. Do you want to come?
Oh, I'm a senior.
Oh, that's cool.
No, sweetie, that means I'm not coming to your party.
Wow, that sucked. Yeah, you want to come to a party tonight? It's gonna be awesome.
Seth Rogen is one of the dudes in the dorm. Jason Segal plays the older, not in college boyfriend of one of the girls. There's always one of those, a girl who's living in the dorm but has a boyfriend who's 25 and didn't go to college, but he has a real job already. But it's not gonna work out long term.
I don't think it's that unusual. It's a floor party and it's the first night and everyone...
I don't think it's that unusual. No, I agree, but I don't think it's unfair for me to feel weird about it, feel threatened. If I went to a party with Alicia from Color Copying, you wouldn't feel threatened?
Well, this is college and I mean, this is my... What? You went through this.
What college is like?
Well,
all of a sudden, you're the expert on college.
No,
I tried to go to college 4 times.
She's cool. She's got an older boyfriend. Was that a thing at SNU?
Yeah, I had an older boyfriend at SNU.
So you were that girl?
Maybe.
I tried to get on a girl that was in the dorm with me. We studied together sometimes. And she had a boyfriend, not in college, older dude. It was every 30 minutes, her phone's ringing and she's like, "Don't make any noise because he'll get pissed if he hears there's a boy in the room." And I was like...
One thing that's great about you is that you don't even answer the phone when I call you. So I never have to worry about that.
Anyway, she's the one that got away. So. Anyway, Blackberry. This is a film where we're disproving the save the cat. Oh, this is an asshole, but we're rooting for him. Why do we root for these compelling assholes? Because it's not that he has a heart of gold and we really want it. It's any amount of, I'm trying to do a thing. It could be selling meth. It could be being a shark and taking over companies.
Yeah.
We know what he's trying to do. We want to see him do it. And when his nagging bitch wife gets in the way, I'm don't sell meth. We're God, why? And I hate her. What is that?
Well, I think that's part of makes me not like things like this is I start to get resentful about liking and rooting for these characters.
So it does work, but then you think about it and go, why am I rooting for them?
Stop trying to make me like this person. I see what you're trying to do.
So what I'm hearing is As long as the character has clear goals, doesn't matter if they're likable or not, we root for them. Cut to Fool's Paradise, where the main character has no wants or desires or goals. So,
yeah.
Can that work? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's just a funny juxtaposition of like, that is a character with a heart of gold and absolutely no goals. Here's one thing I feel like was missing. In all of these, like The Social Network, Moneyball, person who sees some sort of opportunity, some sort of, I can invent a thing, I can get Tetris. There's some sort of like, oh, I have figured out this concept. Secret formula to success.
Billy, of the 20,000 notable players for us to consider, I believe that there is a championship team of 25 people that we could afford, because everyone else in baseball undervalues them. Billy, this is Chad Bradford. He's a relief pitcher. He is one of the most undervalued players in baseball. Nobody in the big leagues cares about him because he looks funny.
I feel like we were missing in this something about like, well, why did these nerds do it? Like, why did Blackberry succeed?
Yeah.
Because it's hinted at a few times of like, especially when they're in like that boardroom meeting with whatever Verizon dudes who are like, oh yeah, we tried that, it can't work. Everyone in the world's wanted to put email on a phone and it doesn't work. And then the nerd is like, yeah, but did you think of this? And it's like, oh my God, now we have it, we figured it out. It's like, I wanted more of that.
I feel like we're missing some backstory or something.
Yeah, of like, well, why did everyone in the world's got this idea? Like, yeah, you just put these devices together. And it's like, well, why would you be able to do it and not anybody else?
Yeah.
And it's like, we need the stroke of genius. We need the middle out scene.
Yeah.
We're going to win even if I have to go into the auditorium and personally jerk off every guy in the audience.
That's a lot of jerking.
Yeah, even if he's jerking 2 at a time, there are what, 800 guys in that room, so that's 400 times whatever the mean jerk time is.
The what?
Unless Ehrlich jerks off 4 guys at a time, and then we can cut that in half.
How would he do 4?
Look, you have 2 guys on either side with their dicks tip to tip. 4, see?
Oh, from the middle out. That does make sense.
Like 2 shake weights.
Yeah, so what we're
Something
trying
like
to do...
All the President's Men, where the 2 reporters are like, oh my God, this scandal, we've got this clue we can track down. You know, there's the scenes that are like, there's not really even conflict in it. It's just like moments of realization. I just watched Horrible Bosses 2, Charlie Day.
Right.
Jason Sudeikis, Jason Bateman. And that one starts with them launching a product. They come up with an invention and they're like trying to Shark Tank their way to...
So it's 9 to 5, but with white dudes that I care less about?
And 3 different bosses.
Less compelling 9 to 5.
And Jennifer Aniston is one of the bosses. And she's like a nymphomaniac dentist.
This is why we don't need feminism anymore.
No water pressure. Use the blue handle. No, there's no water pressure.
You know, there's a pump on the back. I can pump it up manually.
The water comes out. The shampoo then automatically mixes with the water. Then shortly thereafter that, conditioner.
And then you shower in half the time.
Effectively, yeah. The average American, I don't know if you guys know this, spends about 50 hours a week working.
Hands cramping up.
And some investor comes along who's a shark and is like, all right, I'll distribute these for you and sell 100,000 units for you. So they're making them. And then right when they're like done making them, they're like, all right, here, we're gonna give them to you. You give us the $2 million. And he's like, no, never mind, I'm not gonna pay you. And then I'll just make you go bankrupt and then I'll just take them in a like bankruptcy deal. And it's like, this is exactly what happens at the beginning of Blackberry.
Yes.
This is another
Apparently that's a thing that happens.
Sharks, man. Blackberry is in this new genre of, we go back in time and we watch people be like, I have an idea and we know that it's gonna work. Michael Jordan shoes, video game that's huge hit, type of phone that didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Social media company that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
So you go back in time and you see those. It also reminds me of an Almost Famous.
You gotta take what you can, when you can, while you can, and you gotta do it now. That's what the big boys do. If you think Mick Jagger will still be out there trying to be a rock star at age 50, you're sadly mistaken.
Because of time travel, we know that like people are horribly wrong or like, oh, what a visionary.
Right.
So we have this whole genre now. I don't know when this like started, but in the last few months, we've had Blackberry, Air, the story of the Air Jordan. How did Nike sign Michael Jordan? And then it became the most popular shoe. And it's like, is this a Nike commercial?
I can't tell you how deeply I do not care about that.
People don't know what the hell a Nike is.
What's a Converse?
NBA All-Star shoe.
There's nothing cool about Nike.
You would have to have a pretty compelling pitch.
I can tell them the one thing the other companies can't compete with. Our basketball division is terrible.
I do not love it. This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
I got it. I found him.
Who's that, Jesus?
Your motor
Got a name for it? Air Jordan.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Maybe it'll grow on me.
Tetris, about the American white guy who got the contract to sign the distribution rights so that Nintendo could distribute Tetris because a Russian invented it.
Like,
I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game. Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris.
Tetris. I don't get it.
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Rogers, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris. What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
The cavalry is coming.
We don't have time.
I have a plan.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
Not the bad.
I watched all 3 of these films.
like, was there a single woman in the writer's room for this movie?
Most movies don't have writers' rooms.
But you know what I'm saying.
Probably not. So here is my Eryn Sorkin analogy for all 3 films.
Okay.
Blackberry is trying to be the social network for Steve Jobs, which is aiming high. For there's theme, there's like character arcs, a rise and a fall, a tragedy of some sort. Mark Zuckerberg at the end, hitting refresh constantly, hoping someone's his friend. And it doesn't quite pull it off, but it's aiming high.
Yeah.
And it falls a little short. Air felt like a good, solid, funny West Wing episode. Where it's not like murder and we're gonna bomb this country. It's just one of those episodes where it's like good banter, good workplace banter.
They got great banter. They jib-jab. Jib-jab, jib-jab, jib-jab.
Ben Affleck appears once in a while as Phil Knight, the Nike CEO, who's this weird eccentric guy, and find the Zen Buddhist bullshit.
That's the problem, is you see them as your ideas. It's about you and yourself and your ego. There is no self. There's just the non-self.
The non-self.
That's right.
Does the Dalai Lama have a grape-colored Porsche, Phil?
It feels a lot like the way they use Martin Sheen as the president in like season 1 of West Wing, where he just appears like very briefly to like come in and like.
Is this gonna lead to some Buddhist aphorism I don't want to hear?
Do you run?
Tetris is like one of those West Wing episodes where they're doing like spy shit, where they're not fun and bantery. I have this idea to like distribute it, and it's this like underdog guy. The rights to it are held by this Soviet company. He goes to the Soviet Union to try to meet the dude who made the game. He does so with a tourist visa, but he's really there on business, and so like the KGB's following him around, and then you get into like gun stuff and car chases.
Gun stuff.
You know, like life and death shit's going on, and it's not like a fun bantery.
Yeah.
It's like thriller. It is a lot of 8-bit stuff where like during the car chase, the cars kind of turn into like Tetris blocks. So there's some like kind of goofy stuff like that. The music's pretty good, like 8-bit music or stuff. It's like, well, you signed over the rights for the PC, but this company, through a loophole in the wording, is now using it on consoles because you didn't define console correctly or like narrowly enough, you know, caveat emptor. Right?
Ugh.
No. Contra proferentum.
Caveat emptor is buyer beware.
Yeah, either way, they both work. Contra proferentum, which is why every goddamn legal contract is 1 million words long, because you define the shit out of things. Because somebody will come along and go, well, you didn't quite define PC very well, and we're going to say that a Nintendo is a PC. And it's like, well...
Did you go to law school?
So there's like multiple scenes where it's like, oh, but there's a loophole. Oh, but if we get the KGB to threaten him, and then meanwhile, this person is securing worldwide rights to handhelds because this company doesn't realize that the Game Boy is coming out, so they don't give a shit about handheld rights because they don't know it exists. But here's the worst part. This dude who has the vision, who's a broke guy who has his own little tiny company, a little underdog story. Oh, I get the rights, and then I'll become a billionaire. He has a wife and kids, and literally we have the scene.
The Maxwell screwed me and Kemi. They took everything.
You missed your daughter's concert.
Did you hear what I just said?
私が言ったことは聞いてた。
We've got nothing left.
You missed your daughter's recital. We had that scene. We had to do that. That became a cliche that was being made fun of in the 90s.
But really what that is just...
we have nothing to do with female characters, so here you go.
Yeah, and it's just guys being deadbeat dads. It's not interesting.
He's trying to make millions of dollars for the family. It's like The Hunt for Red October if Red October were a Game Boy game. I think of the 3 films, I think Air is the funniest. I charted my LZOL, and I had, I think, 11 or 12, which is a lot for me.
That is a lot for you.
It was really good. It's a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie.
Yeah.
It has like maybe the lowest stakes of any of them because it doesn't have the rise and fall that you get in Blackberry. It doesn't have the life or death stuff you get in Tetris. It's just like one guy might get fired if this doesn't work. And but you care about it, and it's Matt Damon, and they treat Michael Jordan like he's Jesus and Ben-Hur. It's like around Jesus. Jesus isn't like a main character.
Yes.
Just once in a while, there'll be like a glowing light, and then you see like the back of somebody, and it's
yes.
Oh, gee, like he's just kind of around, but you never like see him.
Right.
That's what they do with Michael Jordan.
That makes sense because for such a recognizable person,
it's gonna be hard to.
Yeah.
Well, we just had Winning Time. What's that? It? The HBO show about the Lakers. That was really good. We watched that at the same time as we watched Minx, which is also like the same show on HBO. The two of the same show. Again,
based on true stories.
We go back in time, watch a person who's like, I've got a crazy idea, and we know that they're right, and everyone else thinks they're wrong, or that'll never work.
Porn for ladies.
Or I want to draft Magic Johnson. No, that's crazy. You can't have 2 big men. It also is obsessed with market share. There's all kinds of comments about like Converse has this %. Jason Bateman also in it.
Is in Air?
Mm-hmm. So we have a Jason Bateman there. Jason Bateman's in
Fool's
Paradise. Jason Bateman in Horrible Bosses with Charlie Day. There's a scene that feels like it's straight out of Moneyball.
Off the table. Number 1 pick is not going to be wearing our shoe. Sam Bowie, picked by our local pro franchise. At number 2, he's going to go to Converse. And at number 3, Jordan going to Adidas. Can't afford it. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on 3 names between pick 5 and pick 20.
So it's like a scout scene out of Moneyball. And it's like in Moneyball, there's that part where like, oh no, he's got an ugly girlfriend. So that means he has no confidence. And like, that's how they're evaluating people. And in this, Charles Barkley is brought up, and somebody's like, no, I can't do him. He's got locker room problems. He talks too much.
Trash talk. Nobody wants to see Barkley on TV.
Does anybody hear me if I'm down in the valley singing the song of a man they call Terrence T-Bone Stansberry?
I don't think they call him that.
Well, we could.
He talks too much.
The big idea in Air is we should sign Michael Jordan. That's it. That's the big idea.
But do I care?
I like Melvin Turpin.
Melvin Turpin. Thank you, Bill.
What about John Stockton? He's scrappy, just like us.
Gonzaga?
Sure.
What's that, a vocational school?
What do you like about Melvin Turpin? What do you like about his game?
He made the Final Four last year.
Well, so did 40 other guys.
He's the 5th, 6th pick in the draft.
Have you watched him play?
He's got great court sense. He's got good vision.
He had 33 assists last season.
I like his play. I like the
Okay,
guy's
all right,
good.
no, it's all right.
He's
No,
got
he's
charisma,
going to be
he's
a
got
good
flash.
player. He's going to be a good player in Europe in 4 years when he's out of the league.
I have to say, going into it, I didn't think I would care. And I don't really care. And it's like, this is a Nike commercial and whatever. But it was funny, and I had a good time.
Well, honestly, what the fuck is your problem?
Who are we going to get?
You tell me. Phil brought you here because you're the Mr. Miyagi of high school basketball. You're not supposed to lecture people. You're supposed to tell us who's going to paint the fence.
Mel Turpin. We'd be better off signing my mom.
Not available.
Well, even if she were alive, we can't afford her.
You can afford my mom.
Clubhouse issues.
Listen, we got $250K for 3 names. This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
We need more money.
That's not brilliant.
If you were to just tell me the synopsis, I think I would have said Tetris would be the most interesting because it actually has like life and death, KGB, Cold War shit, Blackberry, his gut, rise, fall, and then Air last. And I think that my actual enjoyment is Air 1, Blackberry 2, Tetris 3. Tetris goes with the word because it's just like, it's not funny really.
Yeah, that's all an execution, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see.
The patient has lost the ability to speak. With the proper amount of care, it's possible that he could regain his understanding of the world, his ability to speak.
What's our first course of action?
Well, the state is not going to pay for any of that, so we are going to put his ass on the first bus downtown. Get in.
Take a look at this guy. What about him? He's a dead ringer for you. This man don't look nothing like me. I mean, look at him. He's too short. Get finished in day for you.
Latte pronto.
Excuse me, Mr. Pronto. Can I call you Latte?
Latte. Latte pronto.
Latte Pronto.
Is that your name? Amazing.
You and me are gonna do big things, pal.
Mad respect, bro. You have got a big film premiere tomorrow night. Does that make you a little nervous?
Make love to me, Latte.
A million Disney fiddles playing bing bang boom. Began to take my breath away. Bing bang boom.
I know you think what's been happening to your career is accidental. Everything is by design.
Who are you really, Latte?
Now we went to see this in the theater and I got carded at an R-rated movie and I didn't bring my wallet with me. Wait, you're an adult. You were my my sponsor.
I was
my chaperone.
Even though I'm much younger than you are.
It just made you like my mom, basically.
Gross.
Bringing me to an R-rated movie.
Gross.
And we had the theater experience where you sit in a room with strangers. Blackberry we saw Friday, 4 o'clock. There were 6 people. Fool's Paradise we saw Tuesday. 0 people in there, and then 2 people came in, right? Oh, there's gonna be somebody. We were almost in the empty theater. I have video.
My dream.
Describe the film with one adjective.
One adjective.
One adjective. What's the movie like?
I'd say whimsical.
Whimsical. I was gonna say charming.
Charming.
So he plays kind of a Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, sort of a silent film character.
3 beers, yes?
Oh, no.
What's going on?
What the fuck? Holy shit.
What? You're not Charlie Chaplin fans? This is gonna kill in here.
It's out of time.
Yeah.
It's present day-ish, but it very much feels like we're moving like through the decades somehow, which is intentional, and I think works. It's like a parable. If anything, go even weirder with it.
Yeah.
Like make it be in the 20s at one point. I mean, there's a lot that's like, okay, we were just like out on the street. It's modern vehicles, and I was like, I kind of want even more out of time. Stylistically, it's a throwback. It feels like a 60s movie or a 70s movie. Modern comedies are just so like you have to have a joke every 10 seconds and so broad for the most part. So
tell me about your wiener.
The jokes are longer. They take longer to play out. They play out as scenes, not as like, oh, that was funny.
One-liners.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the beauties of having your main character not speak.
Right.
Messiah's queen. It gave me La La Land vibes.
I was just gonna say that.
No, I was gonna say that.
I was gonna say it was La La Land.
Yeah.
That or like
And I would say I liked this more than La La Land. A lot of people love La La Land.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it.
It was fine. The music was good and interesting.
At times it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it, like plot-wise, you're like, oh, okay, this relationship with a famous actress and stuntman behind the scenes on a film set where he's like a stand-in, not a stuntman.
It's almost like magical realism.
Yeah.
Which is a genre of novel that I love.
This feels like a film. This is a movie to see in the theater.
Yes.
Unlike Blackberry.
Yes. Definitely agree.
Spectacle, a score.
The music is great.
Made by John Bryan.
Yeah. What else has he done?
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine.
You can feel the orchestra being there. It feels like a 50s movie production.
Yes, like the difference of Blackberry felt like this could be a TV show.
We just stuck some cameras in an office building, and this is like sets, and there's an orchestra, costumes, and a giant cast.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something also like stage musical about it.
Yeah.
That is also kind of a throwback, because I guess like early movies just felt like the plays or musicals that were being filmed.
You're on a set in a sound studio. Yeah.
But there's something about that that's like kind of magical feeling.
Especially when it's about Hollywood.
Which is another thing that's a little bit of a paradox for me. One thing I get tired of is entertainment about entertainment.
How every goddamn musical is about backstage at a musical.
Yes.
I hate that. I can't stand that.
I don't care. Like, this is so...
I was a theater kid, so let's make movies about theater kids. That's what it makes me think of.
And it's just like self-referential.
So
Tell me about your wiener.
But it's like, is it satirizing Hollywood more than like?
Yeah.
There's
a joke that the guy who's dead, Ray Liotta's character makes early on that's like, all acting really is hitting your marks and
saying some words
like that. Like, so yeah, that's
the producer. We didn't say his Charlie's character's name. His name is Latte Pronto. I've seen a lot of criticism that this film is satirizing Hollywood, but doesn't really have anything to say. It doesn't really like have some takedown, like, oh, I'm gonna satirize Hollywood, but then you're like, aren't really going far enough or making enough of a point.
I think it has a point.
I think it doesn't, it's not trying to take it down. It's not trying to be like, look how dumb Hollywood is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is called Fool's Paradise, and you know, I think that's maybe like, okay, you see the title, and then you're like, oh, okay, here's what we're satirizing. We're satirizing, and like, what do you have to say about these issues? And it's like, this is a whimsical, charming, magical, realist thing, and yeah, it's kind of making fun of Hollywood, but it's also kind of celebrating it. It's not trying to take it down.
Yeah, part of the point is like, y'all take yourself too seriously.
Oh yeah.
And then like, it's coming full circle with
they
needed taking themselves too seriously.
They needed some critics characters in it.
Yeah.
That could then take something way too
seriously. They had some like, I feel like there were some headlines and a few like snippets of like interviews.
This film was a big hit or whatever.
Yeah. It kind of hinted
Latte
at that.
Pronto is a great, they like read a review. Point. But if they had like a critic character, but is the film Mosquito Man really telling us something about
someone with a mustache?
The industry of mosquito hunting. I also think people just went in thinking it was going to be laugh out loud, hilarious, a joke every 20 seconds. And it's not that. It is this throwback. Older movies did not have to compete with your cell phone. And they would let scenes breathe. And things would feel more real.
So much silence.
Yeah.
Dead air.
Compelling assholes. This is the opposite. As a character with no goal.
Yeah.
Which is like literally screenwriting 101. Your character must want something on page 1, even if it's just a glass of water. They must want something. They must have a desire. This character does not want anything. He has no desires. He literally falls into a pool and is like drowning. It's just like sitting at the bottom of the pool and is just perfectly happy to sit there. Like, he doesn't even want to breathe. Like, that is the degree to which he doesn't have any desires or goals.
Yeah.
Which that is like, what is it? House of Cards. The very first scene of House of Cards is Kevin Spacey killing a dog, which is like, hey, you know that save the cat thing? We're gonna do the opposite. Like, go fuck yourself.
Right.
That to me is Charlie Day being like, hey, you know screenwriting 101? No. He doesn't even want to breathe. Like, doesn't even have that.
Yeah. And not in the way that he's like suicidal, but
he doesn't
absence
even care.
of needs. Then the movie is about everyone else's needs and wants and how they're imposed on him.
Yeah, they're all projecting onto him.
Right.
It's like the Kuleshov effect. You know the Kuleshov effect?
I don't.
You didn't take a film school class. Film class.
I did not.
It's one of the first things.
I have a very useful degree, and that is a BA in English.
Oh yeah. Kuleshov effect, which is you make a montage and it's just a man looking, and then you cut to a sandwich, and people are like, oh, he's hungry. It's the exact same shot of a man. You cut to a grave. It's like, oh, he's sad. That's basically, it's Kuleshov effect of the person. He's just like Adrian Brody's character. Highlight of the film for me was Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
He's method, or he's half method.
Yeah.
Because the Charlie, the person who looks like Latte Pronto, is full method and then hangs himself. maybe jerking it. But at one point, Adrian Brody's character is talking about he likes to see movies without the sound. Like, just plug your ears and watch it, which is a thing people will say. Watch a movie without sound. I've heard a screenwriter talk about listening to movies without watching them, just to like listen to dialogue. And Adrian Brody's like, I don't listen or watch, and dialogue is overrated, and like words are just a crutch for actors, and you should just physical acting. And that's what Charlie's doing. And there you go. Dialogue's a crutch. So is that then therefore satirizing this film, which is about actor, writer, director who's like, I'm gonna be a character who doesn't talk? Is that self-satirizing? I have a fun fact. There were extensive reshoots done. This movie was filmed in like 2019. And Guillermo del Toro, who shows up in It's Always Sunny, gave Charlie notes. And then he went back and he told him something about like, yeah, if you have thoughts about, oh, I want to fix this or I should reshoot that, do it. Because if you don't, you'll always regret not doing it. And there were 27 new pages written after they'd already finished filming. So this is a different movie than the original version.
Interesting.
So
27 pages is a lot.
Yeah, it's like a quarter of the movie. Like, knowing that there was a big change, what do you got? Like, what did they change?
Did a couple reshoots of my own.
You were cheating.
I'm just gonna see if more Ken Jeong. So the scenes of the friendship of the two of them?
I'm not sure exactly which scenes, but the main thrust of the reshoots and the rewrite was making Ken Jeong much more of a main character. So it's like, okay, there's a lot of scenes where he's just one of the dudes.
Welcome to your team. You got me, your agent, got your manager, lawyer, publicist, personal assistant, plus we got you an intern.
And it's like, okay, sometimes he's just kind of around, but there's a lot of scenes that are just the two of them.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have to imagine the bookending scenes where we just meet, I think the very first scene is Ken Jeong like working with some nobody, and he's like, you know what you should do? Ventriloquism. And the guy's like, you're fired. And then at the end, that guy's like, I'm a ventriloquist now. Can I work with you? Because you're a great agent. So it seems like the rewrites was all like making Ken Jeong more a main character and less of a like joke.
1, 2.
I'm curious, because if you're adding that much, I wonder what was cut. Because it's less than an hour and 40 minutes long. So like, you added 27 pages.
Which is another thing that makes it feel retro. It's not over 2 hours long. Which, I don't know, I feel like in the year of our Lord 2023, if your movie's gonna be more than 2.5 hours, then it's not a movie anymore, and it needs to be a miniseries.
Hot take.
Or you just need to edit the shit out of it.
I do feel like Fool's Paradise did start to drag a bit at the end.
Yeah.
Because it is a very episodic, like, oh, okay, a studio executive is using him for this now. Oh, okay, this female actress is using this for this now. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't really add up.
That's probably my biggest critique of it. There are moments where I was like really engaged and into, and there are moments where it's like,
What were you not engaged with? For me, it's the Ken Jeong stuff.
Really?
I don't know if it's his performance, if it's Ken Jeong as an actor. I think it's maybe he's such a goofy character.
Yeah.
That when in the like third act of the movie, it's like, oh, we're gonna focus on him a lot now. All of that weight is being given to what's mostly just been like a punchline of a character.
Yeah,
it's like, do we really believe that this is like a real person that we care about, or is he just like a joke of a terrible agent? I don't know that I buy it, and I feel like that's maybe why the third act dragged. You're putting a movie on at a party and not listening to it. This would be a good one.
Yeah,
this would be good to look at.
It is. Yeah, I agree with that. Good,
not
interesting.
Blackberry.
No.
You want to see up Glenn Howerton's nostrils? Yeah, okay. Both this and Blackberry used a physical object as a synecdoche device, framing device at beginning and end of film. You remember what I'm talking about?
No,
This is the part where the film is doing a thing and you're going, this is theme. Here's theme, everyone. In Blackberry, they're at the beginning going to like pitch, and he's like, I have to fix this thing is making white noise. I have to fix this.
Oh,
and he opens it up, it's making white noise, and he fixes it.
Yes.
And then at the very end, their newest Blackberry, because they've compromised and had it made in China. This movie was very anti-China.
It was, yeah.
Because it's made in China, all the new Blackberries have that hiss, that white noise hiss. And he's like, I have to fix it. And then it's like, you pull back and it's a sea of like a million boxes and they all
opening one by one.
They all have this hiss. And then in Fool's Paradise, Adrian Brody, I think, just hands him a gold nugget. And then Ken Jeong finds it, or he hands it to him at the very end. And he's like, is this a lump of gold? Or is it fool's gold?
So in Fool's Paradise, the gold is...
Is it fool's gold, though? It doesn't answer the question. We don't know why he doesn't speak. He can speak. Do we need to ever resolve? You know, I was expecting that in the third act, there would be some sort of, oh, this is what happened to him. This is what trauma was.
Or that somewhere along the way, there would be a trigger that would recall his prior.
It's like, okay, you're planning this at the very beginning. We have our fun, and then the third act, it gets serious. And we go, oh, it was this all along.
Like when he jumped into fell in the water, I was thinking,
I thought
maybe there's it's like a drowning situation.
Like
That's
in
where
the
it's
cell.
gonna pull us back to.
Like in the cell, where the baptism made him a serial killer.
Who are you really? Latte Pronto?
Gotta get down, big time.
This film is based on or inspired by Being There, the Hal Ashby 1979 Peter Sellers film.
I heard he speaks 8 languages. I can't read. I like to watch TV.
All you gotta be is white in America to get whatever you want.
I understand.
Being There, made in the USA.
Being There is about Peter Sellers is the gardener for some old rich person. He just lives on the grounds, and he is mentally like an 8-year-old. All he knows is just gardening and watching TV. His desire, he has a strong desire, watch TV. So the beginning of the movie is the owner, whoever his master, dies, and so the estate is like being turned over. And they're like, so you live here, or he's not in the will, so they just like kick him out. Like, you just work here. He is like from the 20s basically, because he just doesn't know anything other than like living on this grounds and gardening, and he wears suits that are from like the 20s. So he's just this man in a nice suit seems like he's from the 20s, so he's very like, seems fancy and rich, but he's just like the mind of an 8-year-old. And people like glom onto him and are like, oh, you must be rich. And they like introduce you to my friend. What's your name? I'm Chance the Gardener. And somebody hears it as Chauncey Gardner. And so they think he's, oh, Chauncey Gardner. Who is he? He's a rich man. So he just keeps having these weird run-ins, and people are like projecting onto him stuff. By the end of it, he ends up being an economic advisor to the president. Like, it just keeps going up the ladder of like, this rich person thought he was this, and then so they introduced him to this person, and then he meets the president.
On television, Mr. President, you look much smaller.
Dumb as a jackass.
As long as the roots are not severed, all is well, and all will be well in the garden. In the garden.
They're talking about like the economy and growth or something. He goes, well, growth happens during the growing season, but there shouldn't be growth all the time. And they're like, oh, this is this deep lesson about like GDP growth. But all he wants to do is watch TV. And so there's this very rich lady. She latches onto him. It's just like the actress. Like, she latches onto him, thinks that they are like becoming a couple, and it's just like misinterpreting. It's basically the same character, but he can talk.
Mr. Gardner, the New York Times spoke of your peculiar brand of optimism. What was your reaction to that?
I do not know what it means.
You have got a big film premiere tomorrow night. Does that make you a little nervous?
Oh, he was very clever, keeping it at a 3rd grade level. That's what they understand. He's very, very sexy.
But I think he's brilliant.
But she keeps trying to like come on to him, and eventually she gets him like in the bedroom, because there's a TV in the bedroom, you know. And she's like, why aren't you paying attention? Like, I'm trying to like come on to you. And he just says, I like to watch. And he just means the TV. And she thinks he's like, oh, you're a creepy pervert who likes to watch. And so she like masturbates in front of him and like is in love with him even more now because she thinks he's a watcher. So it's just the same movie as people are projecting onto him.
Yeah.
At some point somebody is like, oh, you should write a book. You have all these great aphorisms. And he goes, I can't write. And they're like, oh, I know these days who has the time. And he's making some comment about who has the time. A classic. There's it wins Oscars, I think Best Supporting Actor. And it's lauded as a great classic. And I just rewatched it and it's not super funny. And it's like, is this really a great film or is it, we're holding it up as a classic? Do you feel that pressure of you're like, oh, this movie's a classic? It's got to be great, and then you watch it and go like, I didn't really like it. It's like, if I say I didn't really like it, do I lose my like street cred as a cool person that likes cool old movies?
Do you have street cred as a cool person?
Oh, I have a ton.
Do you?
So much.
Interesting.
I think it doesn't hold up.
Okay.
And my comparison I would make is like, there are old movies you put on and go, that holds up, and it was hilarious. And maybe it's just, it wasn't for me, I guess. Like, it's fine. It's not amazing or anything. The Graduate I can put on.
Sure.
It's not hilarious nonstop, but it's compelling and I'm into it. It's kind of got the same problem as Fool's Paradise in that it's like this episodic.
Yeah.
And like in Fool's Paradise, they get to the like, you should go into politics. And it's like, that's directly referencing being there. So I could see a lot of people who've seen being there, being like, oh, that's just ripping this off. It's like, no, I think you put in front of a modern audience, watch these two movies back to back, they'll like Fool's Paradise better.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between ripping off and being inspired by.
Yeah. There's another film it's been compared to, which is a Woody Allen movie from 1984 called
Pass.
Broadway Danny Rose.
He's a horrible, dishonest, immoral louse. And I say that with all due respect.
Danny Rose is an agent who's a very low-level agent working in New York. So he's representing nothing but like, oh, a lounge singer who's really bad, a magician who sucks, a ventriloquist whose mouth is moving constantly. He's a terrible ventriloquist. It's like, okay, the ventriloquist. He's just a shitty agent who like is like broke and is trying to get acts, and whenever he gets one that is successful, they then dump him and then like move up in the world.
Right.
So this is the Ken Jeong character.
Lucky for you, I don't have any Jewish friends.
But anyway, the main thrust of it is he's representing this like Italian lounge singer guy, and that guy has a mistress involved in the like Italian mafia, and so like Woody Allen is trying to keep his client happy by like shuttling his mistress to him to keep him happy, but then the mob thinks that she's dating Woody Allen, and then so they're like trying to kill Woody Allen, and they're on the run, and that's the plot basically.
Hijinks.
But it's basically the Ken Jeong character. He's this like slime ball, broke ass. Right. They're showing like a montage of like his terrible acts, a balloon animal act, and he's like, trust me, if you join me and I'm your agent, you'll be the best balloon animal act in Atlantic City. And he is the main character. And so you do buy him as this like character, whereas the Ken Jeong character, it's just hard for me to care about him. And
the guy shot him in the eyes.
He's blind?
Dead.
He's dead, of course, because the bullets go right through.
What do you think there, let's say Rotten Tomatoes, a percentage, Blackberry you're lower on than the public?
Yes. The public version is maybe high 60s.
And you're 50?
Call it 50.
Fool's Paradise.
I'm gonna maybe say the reverse.
Fool's Paradise, you're giving a 75-80.
Yeah.
And you think public gave it about a 50.
Public gave it like a 60s.
One of these films has a 14%, and one has a 98%. Which one's which?
Play it subtle.
That is shocking.
I'm surprised too. I knew this going in, and afterward I was like, I don't see these.
That is shocking
to me. So which one do you think has a Rotten Tomatoes 98?
I do not think they are that far apart. Damn.
I think the score system you just laid out, I'm pretty much agree with. It's like, I think I probably like Fool's Paradise more than average, and I probably like Blackberry a little bit less than average, and so they probably met in about the same area for me. I think I liked Fool's Paradise a little bit better, but they're close. If I had to rewatch one, I'd rewatch Fool's Paradise.
Yeah.
I think it's...
And like that, for me, that's not really even close.
And I realized I had the Blackberry, and I wanted to... What? No!
So according to Rotten Tomatoes, one's a 14, one's a 98. Which one's which?
I'm afraid that Blackberry is going to be the 98.
You would be right to be fearful. Blackberry is a 98. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of shit people like. Even though it's
Fool's Paradise.
I just am not interested at all.
Fool's Paradise. 14%.
God, is that the critic? That's the public score.
I think that's the critic score.
Let me just say this on record to the camera. Fuck film critics. Y'all need to leave the coasts.
So currently, Fool's Paradise is 17% critic score, 36% audience.
That's stunning.
Blackberry, 98% critic, 92% audience.
Fuck that.
So like, I've looked through a bunch of those reviews, and a lot of it is the like, oh, it's a satire that doesn't have much to say, or it's trying to be being there, but it's not as good. I was like, Blackberry is Social Network, but not as good. It's trying to be Silicon Valley, but it's not as funny. Like, what?
It's less original.
Derivative.
I know that Hollywood, or the Academy, I don't know, often loves stuff that like lionizes Hollywood. This movie is about how people in Hollywood are so important and impactful, and this is making fun of them. So it's like, are critics against it because it's kind of like making fun of Hollywood?
This is why we don't pay attention to critics, because goddamn, our tastes do not align. Yeah. Not align at all.
And like, part of me thinks that a lot of the disagreements we have, not you and me, but is it just about how much you care about novelty?
Yeah.
You know, like when our dads go and see random dumb movie of the week, terrorists take over the White House, part 3, whatever that movie was.
Fast and the Furious fucking 10.
Even our dads aren't into that though. That's
true.
Too dumb for them.
That's true.
But when they're like, they go see these
what
movies.
Do you mean even our dads?
I mean,
they're gonna watch this and be offended.
They will go and see just random generic movie of the week and be like, oh, it's pretty good. Like they're not trying to be critical.
The default is pretty good.
Yeah, if I didn't fall asleep. But then if it's like at all like trying to be an art movie, if it's at all trying to step out of the norm a little bit, they get, you know. And I think that has to do with novelty. I feel like maybe it's because I have a good memory that I'm like, I've seen this movie 40 times before.
I don't have a good memory, and I still have that feeling.
Right.
So but I do read a lot of
new.
books, so maybe that's part of it. I read a lot of stories.
So you
watch a lot of stories.
So the stuff that our dads are like, I don't know, it's pretty good. I'm like, I just can't care. It's just a derivative of this and this and this. And then when something comes along that seems original to me, I'm like, oh, that was original. And I had thoughts while I was watching it. I had feelings again. You remember feelings?
Are you saying you don't have feelings?
It's like a teenager.
Gross. And
they're like, what is this? This is weird. I don't get it. Because like their reaction to novelty is, I don't know how to feel, so this is dumb, or it's being pretentious.
Yeah.
But like when Parasite was like gonna be Best Picture, and there's so many people who are like, who even watches movies with subtitles? Like, meanwhile they're like, we need to like make a petition that this whatever Marvel movie should get recognition. I cannot care about whatever Marvel movie you guys are obsessed with.
Derivative.
And yes, I did like Paris. It was great. It's not like I'm trying to get internet points by being a douchebag to be like, oh, I really love this foreign film.
Similar,
look how cool I am.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Great. And also like broad too.
Yes.
Parasite should not have been the example of, oh, these people just want to look smart that they watch the subs. It's like, this is not a hard movie to get into.
No, it's not.
And Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's even like less so. That's like almost a Marvel movie.
The existence of subtitles makes people be like, that's pretentious.
Yeah. I want it. It's everything.
It's in pretentious. It's in subtitles because it was made by people who speak a different language than you.
The language of cinema.
What is the language of cinema? Is this supposed to be French?
The Kuleshov effect.
I don't know what that is.
We already talked about the Kuleshov.
Oh, it's the same effect you talked about earlier?
Yeah.
I don't remember shit.
The Soviets invented montage, by the way.
You know you should do a montage of.
You burping?
Well, sure, that's been done though.
Derivative.
Of you twirling your mustache.
Like, comment, subscribe. What do you want them to write in the comments?
That's the end. Doesn't have to be a whole big thing every single time. You know, that's life. That's just sort of how shit goes. Sometimes things just sort of end.
Okay, this is relevant. going to bring it back around. Okay, just stay with me. I saw a photo someone took of a bookstore during Women's History Month, and the sign said, "We support women's rights and also women's wrongs." And the two books that were there were Gone Girl and Amelia Bedelia.
She have like
That's her whole
Asperger's.
thing, is she doesn't understand puns. Yeah. Blackberry is celebrating men's wrongs, and I'm tired of that. I want to see women's wrongs. Messiah's Queen. Tired of the movies of like, man tries to get rich and then does something illegal and then goes down for it.
So
boring.
This Blackberry is like taking The Social Network, all these movies, and going, what if they're Canadian?
Yeah.
So it's a big twist.
Yeah.
The big twist on it
Yes.
is they're Canadian.
They're...
Well, pitch me.
Now here's the twist, and there is a twist. Guys, we're gonna show full penetration, and we're gonna show a lot of it.
Who's a woman who started a $1 billion company and then screwed the pool boy, and then... You want me to rank 6
In the
films?
comments, tell us. Women's wrongs. What?
Oh, yeah.
What stories about women's wrongs do you want told?
Pitch me
Based on a novel?
Pitch me a goddamn movie.
He smells crime. Back to the lab, full penetration, crime, full penetration, crime, penetration. And this goes on and back and forth for 90 or so minutes until the movie just sort of ends. That is brilliant!
Amelia Bedelia.
We need an Amelia Bedelia movie, but it's like a dark, realistic,
yes,
erotic thriller. I'm gonna rank now 6 films. Number 1, Air. The story of them picking Michael Jordan and convincing him to be the face of their shoe.
What about Lancaster Gordon? Anybody?
Louisville.
Louisville. He went to Louisville, Bill. That is correct. I wrote it right there.
It was funny. It was really funny.
It made you laugh. That's the
I
one.
laughed a lot. It's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's Good Will Hunting too. Hunting season.
Okay.
Number 2, Fool's Paradise. Number 3, I would go Blackberry. And then Being There, Tetris, Broadway Danny Rose last. What's the next Blackberry, Tetris, Air? What product you really want a commercial for? You're like, oh man, I want to know who was the white man who was like, you know what we need?
I feel like a potential women's wrongs in the same vein as Blackberry, etc.
Combined, let's go.
Would be something multi-level marketing. Like, tell me about fucking Mary Kay.
The fucking Avon lady.
Yeah,
The Mary Kay.
Like, what's the Mary Kay story?
Passion Party, the movie. Somebody's going to be like, oh yeah, I've got an idea. Our customer isn't the public, it's these people we trick into thinking they'll get rich.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The multi-level marketing movie. I can see this. Because they made The Founder about Ray Kroc,
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yes,
And it's like,
franchise.
franchising.
Yes.
Oh, that's a movie right there.
That's a movie. Someone pay me.
We got to pick.
Pay me.
This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
A business opportunity as rare as the Abani berries themselves.
What's happening? How does anything happen, Charlie? Move past it, will you?
I'm having feelings again. Like some kind of 14-year-old kid or something. I mean, you remember feelings, right?
It's a pyramid scheme.
It's not a pyramid scheme, it's a reverse funnel system.
Turn it upside down.
God damn it!
It all starts with the berries. The berries are the most delicious.
We're going to trick bored housewives into thinking they'll get rich. We'll get you a pink Cadillac.
Still not convinced? Well, guess what? The Invigoron system is also a pyramid scheme.
I got his whole platoon selling for me.
Wait a sec. The maniac's in my downline.
I don't think you're quite understanding. This involves you giving us cash, not a product that we would then sell.
Cindy, how does this work?
I like to think I've been this handsome since birth, possibly even earlier.
You quit?
Yes.
Well, guess what, pal? You can't quit, because you're fired, Vic.
You're fired.
What?
All right, look, you're officially fired.
Pay me.
We got to pick.
Pay me.
We got to pick one that's like out of business by now. So
Do
we
you?
don't get sued.
Social Network. Not out of business. Apple. Not out of business.
Yeah, but you can get in trouble for making shit up, and I want to be able to make shit up.
Okay.
I don't want to have to do endless research.
Well, then call it something
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is either we pick one that's out of business, or we just make a fake one. I'm gonna have to cut all this because this is gold right here.
It's like my sitcom idea that I think is very good.
What was that? It was a copy.